Hey guys, good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you've been enjoying our kind of stay-at-home DIY projects that we've been doing. Last week we did the painting video, and even if you've never painted anything before, definitely check out the video. There are some simple things that you can do, and it's a great way to pass the time and just do something creative with your hands, so definitely check out that video. Today is going to be some more fun at-home projects, and we are going to be doing macrame. And the great thing about macrame projects in general is that you don't need a lot of supplies. So we're literally going to be using macrame, scissors, and maybe a stick or two, which you could probably find in your yard, which I wish I would have done now that I'm saying that. Also stay tuned because I'll have a special announcement in this video tied to a specific macrame project that we're going to be doing that you're not going to want to miss. And so let's get started. For our first macrame project, we are going to be doing a wall hanging. Do have this dowel on hand, and these are really easy to get. I got this one at Lowe's. It's a 1/2 inch dowel, and it's pretty long actually. It's 48 inches. I have my macrame and even backup macrame, and I like to use 4mm macrame. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, it goes a long way, but it doesn't look chunky. I feel like it's a good size. We're gonna be doing some interesting knotting techniques and knotting patterns, and then dip dyeing it, but in different colors. I pulled out some RIT dye that I actually already had in my DIY studio, and I'm going for like this, a very neutral desert look. So I kind of want the dye on the bottom to fade from light to dark, so from tan to cocoa brown to black. This should be fun. You can also add in really fun different kinds of materials to your wall hanging, whether that's different type of yarn. So I have this like more like fluffy cotton yarn that I got actually at the thrift store. You could add in wooden beads or different types of like beads, or also leftover scraps from other projects are great things too. Like I have this leftover copper piping from a different project. I have 50% of the plan for this macrame hanging in my head, but I really do want to try some things that I haven't ever tried before, because what else is quarantine for if you're not trying something new? Kind of the idea that I'm going for this macrame, but I think I'm just going to like start it and see where we go. So step one in any macrame wall hanging is to determine what you want its finished size to be. So if you have a particular place in your house where you want it to go, like if I was gonna do it like, let's say back there where those wall hangings are, I know like this is how much room I have, and I probably want it skinny and long to fill out that space rather than wide and short, if that makes sense. So determining where you want to put it and what size you want it to be when it's finished will help you determine what size dowel you need, and also how long you need your macrame cord to be when you put it on your dowel. I want my finished macrame to measure 36 inches. So it'll be inset on the dowel just a little bit, and then down shorter than that. So I'm thinking around 30 inches. So that's just a kind of an overall guide of what I want. I think a good rule of thumb is to take the measurement that you want your finished macrame piece to be, so its length, so from top to bottom, and double it. So if you want your finish to be 30 inches, double that to 60, and then you have to keep in mind that you're going to be folding it at the top, so you need to double that again. For the circular macrame kind of design, we're going to start right in the center, and how we're going to attach the yarn to it is with the lark's head knot. So taking one of your strands and folding it in half so it creates a loop at the top. Then you can choose to go over and create a lark's head knot, or under and create a cow's hitch knot, depending on the style you want. I tend to go over, and most macrame tutorials will tell you to go over. So you're gonna find that mark that you made in the middle, go over, under, and pull all of those rest of those strands through that loop, and then pull tight. So we're gonna put 2 of these to start. So the first one goes right in the middle, and do that once more, over, under, and through. So macrame is always easiest when it's hanging, so we're gonna move over to a hanging position. So sometimes you just have to make do to make a hanging situation. So I've got our pole kind of on this ladder and across to my planner. It works, guys, it works. Okay, so we have our 2 pieces on here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a third strand by just using these two cords. And that will totally make sense in a minute. So we're gonna take this very, very left cord and get rid of it because we're not gonna use it. This is going to become our holding strand. So it's never gonna loop on top of anything. It's always going to stay as an anchor. And then we're going to take the one next to it. So the two middle strands really. So this is going to go over and through that loop that we're creating. Now this will make a lot of sense if you actually try it. So we're gonna do that once more. This is creating a double half hitch knot, and we're gonna pull those tight next to each other. We're gonna take the one underneath, so go under, over, and through. And then once more, closing that double half hitch off, you're gonna go over, under, and through like that, and pull that tight. So you can see it's kind of starting to make this little semicircle. Then we're going to attach that anchor cord back up here to this pole, and we're gonna go over the pole like this, holding it kind of loosely, and you're gonna go through it. So you're gonna kind of create that first part of the lark's head knot, and then we're gonna do it the other way. So we're gonna go behind it, over the pole, and then through. Voila. Then it creates the lark's head knot, but a totally different way. So we're gonna take another strand, fold it in half, like this, and then on the right side, we're gonna be working right to left this time. So we're gonna go and create a lark's head knot, so over, under, and pull those strands through and nestle it up to the rest of them. We're gonna be doing the same thing, just backwards, back to the other side, and creating another one on this side and creating that pretty circle. This very right strand is not gonna be messed with. We're gonna keep that off to the side. So the second to the left is going to become your holding strand. So it's never gonna go on top of anything else. So this one, the third strand from the right, is going to go over and through. And you're gonna nestle that up to the top, and then over and through again to finish the double half hitch knot. It helps me to hang on to this strand, so I know that this is never the one that's gonna go over anything. It's just gonna be my anchor. I feel like the hardest one is the first one because you're defining the shape. Once you get back to this other side, we're gonna do the same thing that we did on this one. We're going to go over the rod and through. This creates the first part of that lark's head. Then you're gonna go behind and through, finishing it. And you're gonna keep making that shape. So you're gonna keep adding it to alternate sides. So the next side we're gonna start on is the left, and then bringing it around to the right, and then starting on the right and bringing it around to the left. So it's coming along, but you see how there's this gap right here? Similar to something that I did in the coaster video, is I just took another strand, and I don't know if this is proper. The macrame purist out there probably come for me, but if you do a lark's head knot backwards, which is a cow hitch knot, which is you go underneath and come on top of the strand, and then pull all of those strands in between that loop. So it's a backwards lark's head, right? And then you pull it tight, and it kind of gives the illusion that you had another one of those loops the whole time. See, and then there's no gap. I've done 9 strands on here, and it's starting to get a little short in some places. Like this one is pretty short. So it's measuring 23 inches long right now. So my design is pivoting slightly. Instead of me keep going like with the same circle and making these even shorter, because every time I put a new one on, this gets a little bit shorter. I think what I'm gonna do now is make 2 smaller semicircles on each side. I feel like that could like fill out the space a little more. And then you guys just can like go with the flow when you're making this. Okay, so we've got 3 sections there, and I think it helps to fill it out without me kind of compromising the length. I really like the way that we did it on the coasters where it's like fringed at the end. It's not all kind of separated out like this. I feel like it fills it a little more. Okay, so we're gonna be cutting them this length here on the shortest one. I'm just trying to get the excess off so we don't have to fringe as much. It doesn't matter if they're straight right now because we're gonna go back and give it another trim once it's fringed. Fringe these pieces, we're gonna be using, I love to use Kinsley's dog brush because it has these really, really fine teeth in them. And this is actually macrame, not Kinsley's hair. It has this really, really fine teeth, so it'll separate all of those threads out. So you're just gonna start at the bottom and kind of just brush it out, and it'll start to turn into fringe. You can also separate the strands with your fingers because you'll see that there's at least 4 large strands. Okay, so you can see that this fringe, and it just like pieced apart, just looks so much more full. I'm gonna trim up this bottom edge to be straighter. Okay, so next I kind of want to do a kind of like swagged design over it. So something like attaching it on this side and then bringing it over here. I want more strands hanging across this new kind of rope design. I'm gonna do this rope swagged section first, and that's gonna be what we dye. I'm very excited about dyeing it. So I am not gonna knot any of these. I'm just gonna do the lark's head knot, so I'm just gonna lose a little bit. Let's do them 18, and then we can always trim. 36 inches long, and then we're gonna do like 20 of them to start. Okay, so I'm gonna attach this piece with the lark's head knot 2 on each side. Using the same lark's head knot, we're just going to put all of these on there. Now that I think about it, I'm probably going to end up taking this off to dye it so that I don't have to messing up our back piece. Okay, wow, it's starting to look really good. I've got 3 separate tubs here full of hot water. Kind of come up with a cheat for myself when measuring out RIT dye. I always do 1 tablespoon of dye to 1 cup of water, and then I just multiply that out. I stopped reading the back of the bottle a long time ago. Here is our macrame. So I'm gonna use a rubber band, kind of gathering it together at the top, making it straight, because even though it's gonna make a swag like that, I can dye it straight, and then my dye is gonna have like this arch to it. Hello, Kinsley, this is not for you. First thing you need to do though is wet it. So I'm just gonna use one of these to wet exactly where I'm gonna dye. Not going all the way up, so it's gonna be like natural, then tan, then cocoa brown, and then black. Oh, I need gloves. Don't want to dye your hand like Romeo did when we were tie-dyeing over on the vlog channel. Okay, and we're just gonna wring it out. Shake your dye. Go ahead and let it sit in the tan for a little bit. 1, 2, 3, go. And you always want to do your lightest color first. So if you're going to be kind of ombreing it like I am, you want to put it in your lightest color and then build into the darker colors. So you just want to squeeze out as much of the water and the dye as possible. Ready for chocolate brown. This is a pretty color, this tan. And in we go. And then we're not gonna go as high. And now I just want black along the edge. So I don't want it to be like a lot. I feel like that's a lot of dye to use to just do the edges, but I think we're gonna do some tie-dye with this stuff too. Look how pretty. There's such a subtle change, but there's so many colors in it. Wow, it came out so cool. It is still a little wet. I want to go ahead and put it on so that it starts to dry weighted, like hanging down. So, because it's laying down right now. So reattach it like with just the lark's head knot. Wow, you guys, it's coming out so good. The colors are like so rich and vibrant. Look at that. So you see how I dipped it straight, but now that it has a swag to it and it's like curved, it acts like it's curved. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I need to shape the bottom because I want it to have a more defined curve on the bottom. macrame projects, we always have these leftover scraps, and I always feel bad throwing them away. So a subscriber, which I'm gonna call her a friend now because we've been chatting back and forth on DMs, Megan, messaged me about recreating one of my macrame projects, and she used her leftover scraps to make dog toys. And they were the cutest stinking things I've ever seen. So a huge thank you to Megan for this inspiration for this project. And we are gonna be using all of these leftover scraps from this wall hanging for dog toys. Also, for my big announcement for this video, since we're gonna be making dog toys and they're for our furry friends, some of you guys may have already seen that I have 2 styles of drawstring bags that are on my Etsy shop, which are these guys. And I actually designed these because we were going hiking a lot, and they were perfect to kind of put your necessary essentials for not a overly crazy hike. They have a elastic band on the inside of the bag that holds your water bottle upright against your back so it doesn't spill. I designed the size, the shape, the quality of the canvas, and even the graphic prints. I produced quite a few of them for a yoga retreat that didn't end up happening, and we've got a lot of inventory. So in an effort to help out with the animals, 50% of all of the net sales from these bags will be donated to the No Kill LA and Best Friends Animal Society. I grew up with animals my whole life. My parents have 9 dogs and 2 birds. My brother has dogs. He fosters pugs all the time. My aunt has a cat. My grandmother has a dog. We're such an animal loving family, and they've always been very dear to my heart. So the donation that we will be making will hopefully help with food and just overhead in keeping these animals safe and healthy during the pandemic. So if you want to help out and get a cute bag in the process, I'll leave the link for my Etsy channel below so that you guys can check out both styles of the bags and tell your friends and your family and anyone you know so that we can really help in a meaningful way. Let's make some cute dog toys, right? You want some? Huge disclaimer, as with like dog toys that you buy from the store, any kind of dog toys that especially have like string involved, which is pretty much all of them, be careful. Don't want them to swallow any type of string. Kinsley is not a chewer or a pull-aparter. She just likes to play tug-of-war and fetch. So these are like perfect for her, but I always supervise her. Kinsley basically is never away from me. So keep your dog supervised. Don't give them anything that's not safe. Take it away, throw it away, get rid of it, kind of thing. And make a new one. Okay, I'm kind of separating out like links of them. Oh, Kinsley, I can't work like this. I know, you'll have a toy soon. That's a lot of scraps. Okay, so the first one I want to make is pretty simple. I just want to make a slip knot in the middle of some string. I feel like she'll like that a lot. So maybe we'll do it with this size. And I feel like these are super fun and really simple to make because we're gonna be using really simple knotting techniques on them. Kinsley likes small toys, so I'm not going to do them too big. Bring all of these and bunch them all together, laying flat. And then you're gonna take the longest scrap you have, and I wanna create a large, long gathering knot right in the middle of all of these pieces. So how you do that is you take your piece at the end, you make a loop, and you want your loop to be as long as you want your gathering knot to be. You're gonna lay it right on top, and you want this end to be exposed. You're gonna hold them in place, and then you're gonna wrap this cord around the pieces as many times as it'll go. So you have a long gathering knot, and then once you get all the way to the end, you're gonna find your loop that you made here. You're gonna put that end of that strand through that loop. And then on the other side, you wanna find that end that we left exposed, and you wanna pull it, and it's gonna pull that loop through and underneath this gather. And then it hides it, and it keeps everything in place. And then we're gonna just kind of like cut these ends and make them somewhat straighter. Super simple. Okay, there's one. All right, so another one that would be super simple to make would just be putting 2 knots on each end. So I just kind of lined them up on one side to start like evenly and knot it. And then doing that at both ends, I think that would be like super simple. Basically like a rope toy, pulling all of these strands individually to make sure it's like super tight. You could even like fray these edges like we've been doing on the macrame. It would be so cute. Can we make a spiral donut? Because it could be like a circle and then them all knotted together at the end. That could be cool. So I need to leave ends on both sides. Yes. Okay, so to create the spiral, we're just gonna lay all of these scraps out in the center. And then you're gonna have your 2 longest pieces on each side. We're gonna create a pretzel around these center parts. So you're gonna take your left strand, fold it over and make a 4 on top of your scraps. Take your right strand, fold it over this, underneath all of the scraps and through. Looks like a little pretzel. And then you're just gonna pull tight. You're gonna keep doing that over and over again until you get to the other side. So now we can knot it, because I think this one's gonna be really cute. Taking all of these strands, going to tie a big old knot. You can't have it yet, Kinsley. Hold your horses. Cut off these tails. Then now we'll decide, oh. Let her decide which one's her favorite. Look what I have. You want this? Do you want this? Oh, okay, I think she likes them. Okay, Kinsley, you want some new babies? Got them all laid out here. 1, 2, 3, go. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Which? Oh, she loves rope babies. Do you love that one? Do you like this one? You better. I worked really hard on that one. Oh. I think you like them, huh? Okay, we like all of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed these macrame projects and it kind of inspires you to do your own techniques or your own designs. I'll of course link my favorite macrame cording below so that you guys can order it. I order it from Amazon. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos on macrame. I have tons of fun projects like pillows and coasters, more wall hanging. And if you did like this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already part of our DIY family. And if you want even more content, head over to the vlogs. I post 2 vlogs per week and then again on Sunday on the DIY channel. So I will see you guys over on the vlog channel and here on Sunday. Bye guys. Actually, pick them from the forest. Find them in the forest. Forest. This one's a good one. You like this one?